Hey there, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Erik Kostrzewa. We'll let a few more people come on in, and then we will get rolling into our show. We are going to be talking about our Exploring Michigan this week, which took us to Weiss Distilling Company out in Clawson, Michigan. That is right around Royal Oak, Birmingham, Troy in Oakland County. And then we'll be diving into more snow upcoming this weekend, as well as the bitterly cold air that will get to its worst point early next week, and we could definitely have some wind chill alerts as a result. We'll dive straight into this package, and I'll let you guys enjoy the next 3 minutes, giving you a look inside and behind the scenes at Weiss Distilling Company on this week's edition of Exploring Michigan. The heart of downtown Clawson is a distillery that has quickly become a favorite in Oakland County. They've only been serving the public for a few years now, but when you step through these elevator doors, it's pretty easy to see why people keep coming back.
We had no idea would have people coming from all across the state, out of state, excited to see what we were doing.
That buzz comes straight from their speakeasy's one-of-a-kind themes. And if you've gotten a glimpse of the current design, it is not surprising at all that people line up outside before they open. But what else is unique alongside the decor? Of course, the drinks, which are named according to the time of the year and always have ingredients you wouldn't get to try anywhere else. But it is also the tikis you get to sip the night away with.
For the cocktails, and we'll have a big meeting with all of the bar staff and go through each cocktail idea and say, this one works, this one doesn't, add more pineapple to this one. And with the tikis, it's kind of the same thing. Myself and Ian and other members of management will kind of start pulling things, and whatever works best for the cocktails or whatever we get a big reaction from the crew.
It is all done so you get the most out of your visit to Weiss Distilling Company. If you start to plan and see they are in a design that you may not like, as we always say with the weather, give it a little bit of time because it will change.
Our goal is to always make it a different experience every time they come in. So even though the theme name might be the same, the decor should be totally different.
Weiss now features a new design each quarter, or if you have already been to the bar for a specific theme, just know that no two visits are ever the same.
The menu is going to be different. There might be a piece or two that's recognizable, but it should be unique every time they come in.
The next design up is Miami Weiss, which in this cold Michigan winter will give you some much needed warmth that you don't have to hop on a plane for.
The build out for this one took about 3 weeks of prep ahead of time. And we did take some extra time off for this theme. So
when you come here and look around, it is truly mesmerizing how much time and effort goes into the decor.
Usually we have a 72-hour turnaround. We took off a full week to be able to get up the fake ceiling and all the beams and everything.
Originally, Weiss had no expectations of ever becoming a themed bar, but one small decision to try a specific fall pop-up spiraled into the success you see today.
We had a GM who loved Halloween and knew that there weren't really Halloween pop-ups happening in the market. So it was an opportunity to kind of try something out and see how it went. And we had a huge response to it. People loved it. And immediately we're like, what are you doing for the holidays?
Well, you can still take in the magic of Weiss on Ice through February 14th. But if your plans don't have you here until the spring or maybe the summer, the folks here at Weiss Distilling Company will have another amazing theme set up just for you on a night out. Weiss Distilling Company is open Tuesday through Saturday in the evenings. For Exploring Michigan, I'm Erik Kostrzewa. So it kind of gives you a look at Weiss Distilling Company that's down in Clawson. We got the chance to go visit them last Friday, put that story together, and I know they are very excited to see more people this year, as they are going to be switching up their current design, as we heard in February. And then they'll have another design coming up for the summer and also fall seasons before they go right back to Weiss on Ice for the winter next year. And we hope that next year's winter doesn't come as quickly as this one has. That is, it happened very quickly in November and December, and we're right back into the Arctic air, which gave us high temperatures right at 22 degrees. Normal is 29, and we actually started out the day right at 7. That was a very cold air that we were dealing with. The Arctic temperatures, they're here right now. We'll get a brief break from them on Friday in between these two Arctic air masses, but then it's right back into the colder temperatures for the weekend, and especially early next week. That's some of the coldest air we've seen so far this season. We'll have a brief shot of colder temperatures as well Wednesday into Thursday to keep our temperatures below average, but it won't be as bad as Monday and Tuesday when we get into Wednesday and Thursday. We have another wave of snowfall that is approaching from the west. This will be a wave of about 1 to 3 inches of snow on the way for our Friday. We'll also increase the clouds and increase the temperatures overnight, getting into the upper teens, low 20s by tomorrow morning after settling into the single digits teens as we speak right now. Yesterday's snowfall may have taken a few communities or brought a surprise to a few communities with how much snow we actually did get down into Metro Detroit. Ortonville saw 5.1 inches. White Lake, where the National Weather Service is, saw 6.3 inches of snowfall into the thumb. Bad Axe, Croswell, in between about 3 and 5 inches of snow, which was expected. Flint, we only got about 1.5 inches of snowfall reported at the airport. It was also a breezy day today in between those two air masses and behind that cold front. We saw those winds gusting to about 25 miles per hour. We also have those winds lightening up right now, but they will get somewhat breezier tomorrow, where we do have a wind chill and surprisingly now down to -2 in Bad Axe. We're at 1 whole degree in Port Austin. We are seeing a wind chill at 8 degrees in Saginaw and Flint with an actual air temperature right there in the middle teens. To start the day tomorrow, as I mentioned, we'll be in the upper teens to around 20, and then we'll cruise into the upper 20s to lower 30s. A decent amount of snowfall for the morning and afternoon, starting to wind down in the evening. We'll have a couple waves of snow, so don't be surprised if in between some snowfall, you get an hour or so break from that heavier snow. You can see across the area, lots of snowfall icons from the morning into the evening. It's not going to be enough to cause any school closures, but it will be enough to lead to some hazardous travel, not only for the morning, but also as we get into the evening. Will also be a breezier day tomorrow, some wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour on our Friday. We'll time the snowfall out by 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. We've got some of that light snow. It'll really start to get more widespread and heavy in the afternoon and evening hours. That's when the worst of the snow will happen, and it'll fall apart to just some lake effect snow showers into our Saturday. And the same thing will happen as we go into our Sunday as well. So we've got additional snowfall over the weekend, which will add to the 1 to 3 inches we expect tomorrow. You can see by the end of this snowfall, a general 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected into our Saturday and also Sunday. We're going to add another 1 to 2 inches on top of what has fallen Friday. So in general, by the end of the weekend, most of what I talk about will fall on Friday, 1 inch or 2 Saturday into Sunday. So we'll see a general 2 to 3 and 3 to 5 inch totals from this wave that combines Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all into one. So this is not just tomorrow, but it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that we're expecting about 2 to 5 inches of snow, with a general 1 to 3 inches coming only on Friday. We'll get another 1 to 2 on top of that as we head into the weekend. Looking at those temperatures, they're quite cold. Early next week, MLK Junior Day, only 12 degrees for the high. We do have a chance of snowfall on that day. Wind chills are going to be dangerously cold both Monday and Tuesday. That could lead to some cold weather advisories, which just means wind chills between -15 and -25 degrees are expected, and that could lead to frostbite and hypothermia pretty quickly. For the weekend, we'll have falling temperatures from the 20s in the morning on Saturday into the teens by the end of the day, and then we'll be right around a high in the teens to around 20 on Sunday, getting even colder with a bigger push of that Arctic air. I want to show you some of those wind chills we can expect early next week. We've got wind chills between about -10 and -20 into our Monday. That'll be Monday morning, and then it could get even worse, -15 to -25 for Tuesday morning. Now, these projections are still several days out, but it's just kind of a prepare yourself for dangerous conditions, maybe even some of those cold weather days for the kids, Monday and Tuesday. There might be some school closures. I know there are no schools on Monday. Schools open on Monday because of MLK Junior Day, but Tuesday morning, there could be some school closures because of these colder temperatures. So just something to keep in mind as you prepare yourself for early next week. One other thing I want to do for you guys is I am going to put up the full interview. We like to give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at the full interview that happened at Weiss Distilling Company. I'm just going to make sure that that video is ready to go. and I'll show you that here momentarily. All right, so my computer is not letting me put the full interview in, so we're just gonna wrap the show up here. We'll put the 7-day forecast back on, and we'll leave you with that for the next minute or so before we end the stream. Just as a reminder, this is going to be a very cold stretch of weather. We've got 1 to 3 inches of snow tomorrow, 1 to 2 inches of additional snowfall over the weekend that combines Saturday and Sunday together. We've got additional snow that will happen early next week in these colder temperatures, but the most dangerous conditions will happen Monday and Tuesday, as our wind chills will be down potentially as low as minus 20 degrees, and that would lead to, of course, a cold weather advisory being issued by the National Weather Service if they deem fit. You know, if they see those colder temperatures on the way, they would, of course, issue that advisory, and, you know, that could lead to some school closures on Tuesday. So something to prepare for. We are going to wrap this up, and we will, of course, be with you next Thursday. Thank you all for joining us.